the program this morning on ITV, beginning our discussion with the Abuja Network Center. Earlier, we told you that today is International Day of Artists. For those who may be asking, why do we have to look at the day? It means you are not appreciating what nature has given to you and what other person decided to turn nature into by making more appealing. If you woke up this morning and you tuned to your radio set just to listen to your favorite music, it means somebody with his creativity decided to make that happen. Maybe probably you have a sculpture on your wall which you appreciate every day, or you appreciate work. It means someone there made it happen. So there is a reason for us to always appreciate these talents that make life a bit better for us as human beings. So this morning, to look at the World Artists Day and what it means to these artists in different form, whether musicians, artwork, painters, recycling. So many, there's so many of them. But I have World Abba. He is a recycling, crafts and painting expert. A very good morning to you, Abba.
Good morning, sir.
And I understand you're also a musician. You have a quite handful of things you do.
Yes, sir. So for me, it's basically art is self-expression. So anytime I have an opportunity to express myself through music, poetry, art, painting, upcycling, I just take it full force and just.
All right, let's begin with the celebration itself. Why do you think it's necessary for us to have a day aside to appreciate artists or to celebrate them?
I think generally it is to bring back to consciousness that, oh, we are here, we are doing our best to put out good works out there, to put out the very best. So imagine there's somebody that you go around the whole day, you forget, like, you can be aware and not fully aware of something. But when there's a day, everybody's mind is brought back to, oh, the reality of this thing is here and this thing is for everybody. So consciously we can have more kids, children in schools now saying, oh, there's artworks being displayed, so they are now more existing in their environment rather than it just existing on its own.
So how does it, or rather, what does it make for one to actually see himself as an artist, to make it so easy for you to adapt to that field and say, okay, fine, I want to make it a career in either acting, either music or craft work? What does it take for one to actually see that as a career?
Okay, I think seeing it as a career is quite simple. It's basically about you knowing that this is what you have and this is all you have. I think I was at the point one time where I was doing it, but I was like, okay, if something else comes, I'll just leave this art and start doing that. But I got to consciously realize that if it's money I'm looking for, I can make money in this same industry. If it is network I'm looking for, I can make network in this same industry. Well, and we have seen artists that have gone ahead of us, gone ahead of where I am currently, and I've seen the impact they have made, and I'm like, oh, if they can get this far, I can even go further. So I just consistently stick to that and keep putting in my very best, and hoping that someday, soon enough, that all my craft, my works would be accepted and enjoyed by all.
So let's give us an experience, maybe from your work. How do you feel when people look at what you're doing and probably either they criticize or they appreciate your work? What sense does that make to you?
Also, I will talk about appreciation more, because that gives you that feeling. If somebody, if I have like a poetry listening session, and when I'm done and people are like, God, this changed my life. When you said this directly impacted me. And when I saw this, your artwork, so I do upcycling of coconut shells and plastics too. So like doing sustainability outreaches, you know, when I do those things, I give people like the consciousness that, oh, you can be part of this system. And so that in itself, it gives me a sense of fulfillment. But when somebody criticizes my work, there's this feeling of not feeling wanted or accepted. It doesn't necessarily make me feel depressed or anything, because I built my skin. I say Nigerians, we have crocodile skin, we have tough skin. So I built that consciousness that nothing will pull me down. But you go home and you find yourself thinking about it and you're like, God, am I doing something wrong? But for me, it's also an opportunity to review and then give back. So I look at what I've done. I say, okay, what is it that this person did not like? And why is it that this person did not like what I did? And find a way to make him like what I'm doing. So yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, let's look at the empowerment side of these acts. We are talking about recycling, craft, painting, music, and all that. We know there are so many persons out there who believe that musicians make so much, and they, even if you don't have, like in Nigeria, we say the calling. You don't have the calling, you don't have the talent, you just feel, well, I can go into the industry to make money. How much of this has improved the way Nigerians see acts work? Is it just to make money, or is there a fulfillment for you to be artist? So
that question is very important, because largely a lot of people are going into the system because of the illusion of money. But not everybody makes money in the industry. I'm telling you that a very few of us actually make a lot of money. For me, why it is even possible for me to make money is because I am in various fields. So it's like, oh, you need somebody that will do a spoken word piece at your events. I would write spoken word piece for you. You need somebody that will do a painting. You need somebody that will paint body art. I can do that. So, but then there are a lot of people in that same industry. You are making art now in a time where people can just print out art. Instead of painting, you can just get somebody that already made a digital copy, and people will just keep printing it. So they don't even put in value to the existing body of work. So you are coming to an already saturated industry and hoping to make money. So I just feel like people should not do it for money. You should do it largely for love and for passion. Because if you come into the art industry for money, you probably already have money that you would put in to make you as relevant as you want to be, faster than any other person that is going to just build organically.
All right, let's see how we can catch them young also, because I know in our days in schools, we normally have this competition we do where you are allowed to make a drawing of your favorite item, and then you bring to the class, and then the art teacher will now look at it and say, okay, fine, you have the passion for this. That is where they start grooming those you feel are good in painting or craft work. Now, do we have all these things in our schools in these days? Do we see children looking at it from that very tender age, that okay, fine, you can discover a talent in this area and then groom the person? Or when you get to an adolescent to look for money, you're looking for shortcuts to get money, you start diving into a profession that you never ever thought of going into?
I think, if I'm being honest, so I'm also a teacher, which makes it fun. So I know I'm a lot of things, but I reach out to, I go to schools. I have a school in Kubwa, a school at Galadimawa, and at Kurudu. I teach art at different days, like the art club, not necessarily like a full-time teacher. So when we are talking to kids, and the school sometimes just wants to have something to put on display, right? Just like, so there's a kid that probably his parents wants him to be the star of the school. They are like trying to make sure that anything that opportunity, you put him in. But that guy is probably not the best to be like forefront of them. But they keep doing all those things. So they are trying, but they can still do more in the aspect of actually harnessing and nurturing the people that are actually skilled or have into that field, rather than saying, oh, this field is relevant and this boy, he's smart, so I want him to be in this field. Let it be. I know that we can guide kids into finding themselves, but I'll use for an instance. I had these kids I was teaching spoken word poetry one time, and poetry has to do with interest, because you have to write, you have to read books and all that. And one of the kids, naturally, her voice, everything, very good. Like when she's talking to, is very compelling at that young age. So I really wanted her to be like the main focus of the event. But they also had their own like biases, and at the end of the day, she was sidelined. So if you think about it, we are trying our best, but there's so much more that could be done at the grassroots.
Okay, I want to appreciate you for your time, but before I let you go, just a word of advice to your colleagues out there, fellow artists, in terms of ensuring that we use arts to develop our economy. What would be your advice to them?
I keep making art curious, but don't allow your curiosity drive you to doing anything that doesn't glorify. So me, I'm a man of faith, so I would say that doesn't glorify your faith or your morals or your beliefs. And anything that will bring down, that you do that affects you tomorrow, don't do it.
Ramos, thank you so much for your time. What is an artist, like he said, he's into so many creative acts of whatever you want to call it, but he's an artist of either painting, craft work, and spoken word. Thank you again for being on the program.
Thank you for having me.